Welcome people, my name is Jack4/Jack and that's my Sith assassin, level 50. I'm here today to basically explain to you the deception/shock spec for the assassin. And if you just wait a minute, because I'm on the loading screen, because it is retarded. But yeah man, that's Excision playing in the background. He's like some fucking awesome dubstep dude. Goes wob wob and wobs things. He's like a wobber. It's really crazy man. But yeah, Darth Phantom has been defeated. It's a crazy world out there man. But yeah, in this video I'm basically just going to show you the spec, the itemization, just like a good guide to it basically. Right, so let's get started. This is my Sith assassin, full battle master gear. I'm on the Niman server, which is awesome. I'm like high up in PvP I guess. Battle master saber, it's cool man. Right, as we go here, we've got 33 in deception and 8 in madness. This is basically the shock spec, give or take a couple of other ones, but I'll explain to you. First off, Dark Embrace. While out of stealth mode for 5 seconds, your force regen is 50%. So basically, you just need to max that straight away. And to start a battle, you need to obviously be invis, come out. This is Duplicity. It has 30% chance to grant exploit weakness, making your next more ignore 50% of target's armor and 50% less force, and it can happen every 10 seconds. So that's obviously, you need to max that again because you'll be using more every time you get exploit weakness. Does a lot of damage. As you can see, the proc's like kind of there, you understand, just looks like that. And the next one is Insulation. This increases your armor rating by 30% while Surging Charge or Lightning Charge is active. We'll be using Surging Charge, which I'll explain in a minute, so you want that max, the most possible damage. Obsification, whatever that says, increases your effective stealth by 3 seconds of movement speed. Again, you want that max because in PvP, stealth around, you're going to be running around obviously invisible most of the time, so you want to be fast. This is Rexulation. Honestly, I don't know half this stuff. Reduces the cooldown of discharge by 3. Again, that's good. It's a power we'll be using a lot, so you want to max that for the future. And as you can see, discharge, I'm highlighting. I'm like voicing over as we speak, but whatever I click on, It's weird. Next, this is obviously you can go 2 ways with like avoidance. Obviously, I've got one in it. It's just decrease the unbreakable will cooldown by 15 seconds. Obviously, to break out of something, I just feel like one's necessary. You don't always have to have that, but that's what I do. And Dark Well, Blackout, used out of stealth now, and it grants Dark Embrace, which restores force. So if you're on low force in a battle, that can give you an extra bit of force. And also False Cloak, now you longer reduces healing. And yeah, it's just basically good if you're using False Cloak, your healing don't go down. Next is Surging Charge. Obviously this is the spec's main charge, and it gives a 25% chance to deal internal damage every 1.5 seconds. Again, like, it's a bit more damage. So Surging Charge is one we want, full. And in Induction, we're going to increase, this is your main one, it increases the damage dealt by Maul by 30%. In addition, Thrash, Assassinating, Voltaic Slash have a 30% chance to grant Induction, while Surging Charge is active, and it reduces the false cost of shock by 25%, and it stacks up twice. So obviously when you get that stacked twice, your shock is 50% less. Static Cling increases duration of full slow and reduces the cooldown of it by 3 seconds. I feel like 1's necessary, not 2, because with my Battle Master gear, which I'll explain in a bit, you get good buffs on the full slow as well. Now this is Fade, lowers the cooldown of Blackout by 7.5 seconds and False Cloak by 30 seconds. I feel like 1 is necessary, maybe 2, obviously, that's another one you can go both ways on. But False Cloak, obviously, that's good to get away. Now Saber Conduct, your Surging Charge has a 100% chance to restore 10 false. and it deals damage to the enemy. This effect can't occur every 10 seconds, which obviously it gives good in a big battle, long battle. And for this on-stroke field reduces damage taken by area effects by 15%. Again, I've just got 1 in it because I don't think it's necessary to have 2, because you wouldn't really be in that much area of effect. And this is resourcefulness, reduces the false cost of lacerate and reduces the cooldown of blackout. Again, that's good because you'll be using blackout, but I feel like I've only got 1 again. With all these 1 out of 2 ones I've got, you can obviously just like max them, but yeah, this is static charge. You have a 100% chance to build a static charge, increases damage dealt by surging charge by 6%, and that stacks up, which again, that just increases your overall damage, surging charge. And I've got max in that as well, which is good. And yeah, as we slowly move on, low slash, this is what you're going to buy next. It's basically a stun, it does good damage as well, but if you're in the middle of a battle, obviously use low slash for 4 seconds, they can't do anything, then you can force regen, obviously, do whatever. Next is voltaic slash. This is your main one because it grants induction, which we had earlier, and it also does 600 to 700 with crits, it does like 1000 normally. And obviously when you get that stacked up, use shock. And finally we get 5 in crackling bolts, and this increases the crit damage of your discharge and shock effects by 50%, which obviously that's just good because we're built around shock. As we go into madness exploit, this critical and false attacks increase melee critical by 9% for 10 seconds. Again, that's also very good, you want 3 in that, it increases the overall DPS. Sith defiance reduces all damage taken by 2%. Again, we're going to get 2 in this because that one, the charge is not necessary, like we don't need any in that. And finally it moves on to our last one, which is chain shock. And when you activate shock, you have a 45% chance to activate second shock, dealing 50% of the original one. So again, that's obviously good, you want max. And that's the spec. Obviously Sith Assassin's built about around chance a lot, but when that chance is pulled off, which can happen a lot, you just have ultimate DPS. I feel it's really good. A constant flow of 4 or 5Ks I have. Now as we move on, I'm randomly showing you my Battle Master stuff. I'll move on to that in a bit, but for now let's get down to the ability priority list right here. First one is assassinate. Every time that's off cooldown, and obviously if your target is on 30% low health, you want to be using assassinate every single time. Next is maul, but you can only use this with exploit weakness proc, so every time that's up, obviously you can use it, it does a lot of damage. But if you use it obviously without it, your force just goes, it's ridiculous, so you just got to be careful. Discharge, you got to use off cooldown. Again, 5 stacks isn't necessary because it does a lot of damage, it's one of your highest hitting abilities for assassin. And shock with induction 2, voltaic slash obviously getting the shock, and saber strike with no force, which as you can see there, you don't really use that much, but yeah. This is maul, does 1200 damage. And as we move on, assassinate there I've got, that's also like one of your highest hitting abilities obviously. As we see here, electrocute, this again is another stun like low slash, you want to use it like in the middle of a battle. I wouldn't open it up with it because it can give you that obviously 4-second advantage over an opponent to just maul them or whatever. This is obviously your shot. I've got discharge, which when you surge in charge just deals a lot of damage. Low slash there, again the 4-second thing. Full slow, you want to be using this in PvP like against an opponent every time it's off cooldown because it just slows them and annoys them. Overload you want to use for things like hut ball, where you want to push like people off trying to score, or just use it more tactically. But yeah, and full shroud, it removes all impairing effects, which is generally good. Like you can use that either in battle, and it gives you 2 seconds of immunity from like people like Inquisitors or something. Or you can use it with False Cloak after you've used False Cloak, which basically you get away, which is the awesome thing about Assassins. Now as we move on to, as you can see here, I've got good stats, I assume. I think they're good stats. 600 expertise. You don't want more than 650 because diminishing returns don't happen after that. Critical, you want about 28, 32%. I've got good crit here, obviously. Your crit multiplier, which is Surge. Like Surge obviously has been nerfed, but I've still got around 350. And that's obviously still good. As we move on, we've got damage reduction 25. Some people say assassins are a bit squishy, but obviously we can get away, so don't necessarily leave that much armor and health if we're just outbursting damage. As you can see, I've got power 274. It's a bit less than surging charge, but I'll show you in a minute the relics and adrenals I have that make up for the power. As we move on, Battlemaster gear. I've gone for enhancements, power, surge, crit based. Obviously willpower and endurance are your main ones. Battlemaster stalkers, Rakata gloves, because I wanted a bit more health. And you only need 4 weapons. That's the Matrix Cube. Just YouTube how to get that. Obviously everyone knows how to get a Matrix Cube by now. Increases the power by 380 relic I've got. Battlemaster Stalkers. I've got a Survivor's implant because I wanted my endurance to say 1400. It just looked a bit dodgy with 1300. And yeah, this is obviously Battlemaster Stalkers. There's the Stalker implant I've got just to switch back. See a bit more surge and crit, but I think I might actually change that back. But yeah, it's all good. And now for some tips and tricks. Not tips and tricks, but just general easy things. Obviously Biochem 400 at the minute. I've got a Rakata Resolve Stim that increases willpower by 136 and power, which obviously gives me that damage. And I've just figured out I didn't have my buff on. That puts my willpower almost to 1600. I think that's a sturdy balance I'm going for, with like obviously damage as well. And who else? There we go. This is my relic. It increases power by 380. Obviously expertise and endurance I've got. The adrenal increases power by 500 and something. So that's already, well, I'm on 1200, 1300 power when activated now. And that just makes the shock and just general abilities a lot more stronger. Got recklessness, overcharge, saber and deflection. Again, obviously you want to activate them in a battle. I wouldn't say activate them before you get stunned because it just ruins it, like waste time. But you should know how to do that. There's Jolt, obviously, to interrupt someone who's healing, and your blackout gives you false. Mind trap. Now this is for like obviously you're invisible. You want to CC someone, like the ball carrier, or if someone's planted in Void Star, just generally use that in PvP. A good thing to do is use your False Cloak and then False Shroud. You want to save it for in the middle of a 1 versus 1, and then you can mind trap them and then come out and heal quickly. That's a good trick. Mind Mass Control. That's your taunt, which you want to use in PvP to get them medals. Obviously use it in a big battle. But we can't use guard because dark charge we don't have, obviously. Warzone med packs again. It's another useful, easy thing to know about a Warzone. And that, I think, is pretty much it. So yeah, everyone, check out my Twitch TV, YouTube, subscribe, like. Got any questions, ask. Peace out.